States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening and welcome to the May 13th, 2019 Portland Town Board meeting. We need a moment of silence for the deceased residents who passed away during the past month. Grace Heath and Muriel Dorsey. Thank you. Okay. We need a motion to approve the meeting agenda.
I'll make it.
I'll second
Who
it.
made it? That name?
Yes, sir.
Debbie? Any discussion needed? Aye votes aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Any abstentions? Next, we need a motion to approve the minutes of the regular town board meeting on April 8th, 2019.
I'll move it.
No, I'll second.
Gretchen? Any discussion needed? Aye votes aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Any abstentions? Next is the financial report for the month of April. The general fund, the receipts were in the amount of $69,596.47. The disbursements for the general fund were in the amount of $40,579.78. The total highway disbursements were $84,028.17. The checkbook balances for the general fund at the end of April 30th were $104,897.07. The highway fund, $48,014.51. Youth commission, $1,114.85. Hadlock Dam project, $240.06. The Hadlock Park District Fund, $3,744.60. The Consolidated Health District, $1,016.29. Trust and Agency Fund, $2,309.30. The Medical Reimbursement Fund, $5,449.94. The savings account balances, the general funds in the amount of $452,838.25. The highway fund, $960,985.38. Hadlock Park District, $213,858.20. LoSAP, $18,446.16. So we need a motion to authorize the payment of the bills.
I'll move it.
Second.
Any discussion? Aye votes aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Any abstentions? Okay. Is there anyone in the public that would like to comment on this evening's agenda? Since I see no hands, let's continue on with the agenda. The Supervisor's report for this month. I'll give you an update on the status of the current harvester that we have today. I spoke to Randy over at Northern Trucking today, and is still waiting for some parts to come in. He hopes to be able to have the parts by the end of the month, and he said it would take 1 or 1.5 days to get the parts installed and hopefully get the harvester up and running. I also had a conversation today with Miss Barber about what we're gonna do after Memorial Day, because of the fact that there could be some boat chop that took place at the lake with fragmentations in the water. So we came to the conclusion what we would do is operate one of the pontoon boats and 1 or 2 collectors on the boat, the pontoon boat collecting fragmentations throughout the lake. And hopefully we'll get the harvester operating as quickly as we possibly can. Dominic Jude, the owner of the Aqualogic, who's going to do the suction harvesting. The first day will be on Monday, June 3rd, and he'll be here until June 28th, and then coming back on August 19th through August 30th. He's going to be delivering his boat, not this Thursday, but a week from Thursday. And Kathy Mateer, the owner of the Headlock Inn, she's been kind enough to say that we could use one of her docks to have the boat moored to that dock. 2 months ago, we submitted the Lake Champlain, Lake George Regional Planning Board submitted an application to the DEC for a grant for a new harvester. And we got a letter from the DEC dated April 29th saying the final selection of the 2019 Invasive Species Grant Program have been made. Unfortunately, the project proposal Hadlock Pond Invasive Species Control Program is not selected for funding. And if I were to, there's no reason as to why that decision was made, but if I was to guess, it has something to do with the fact that we have no public access to the lake. And as you know, the grant specifically stated they're looking for lakes that have public access. The Historical Society has applied for a grant from the Charles Wood Foundation, and if they are successfully awarded that, they want to put a cement floor in the basement of the library. And Mark has met with the code enforcement people from Washington County. We've provided the direction to the Historical Society, and what we need to do is wait and see, do they get the grant, and because of the size, the amount of the grant, the amount of the project is over $5,000, they need to get 3 bids, and they've been made aware of that. And today, we have some special recognition for the district clerk, Mrs. Winchell. Mrs. Winchell has just been awarded and recognized to become a registered municipal clerk, and they call it RMC certification. And Barbara, could you take a couple minutes and maybe just share with the board and the audience what this entails?
What I've told quite a few people is when I started here back in 2014, I went to my first conference and I thought, what am I going to learn? I've only been a town clerk for 4 months, but it was just wonderful to see all these clerks across New York State there, 400 people like me, if you can imagine how wild that must be. And there was people getting their RMC, and I'm like, how can I do that? How can I do that? So that's what I've been working towards. And what they have always said is be proud of this accomplishment. As an RMC, you have demonstrated that you are dedicated to your profession as a municipal clerk and have met the high standards of this association. Continued education is an important part of your RMC designation. And in order to maintain your RMC certification, which right now I'm certified through June 30th, 2024. So the conference that I just went to is already towards my recertification. And I really would like to thank the board. I know things are tough sometimes, and we, do number crunching in the fall, but they've always been very, very supportive of continuing education and making sure that I got this designation. So thank you very much to the board.
Congratulations.
Thank
The last thing that I have this evening is the renewal premium comparison for the insurance on the town hall. And you should have a package in front of you that looks like this. And you'll see that the premium they say is going up 2%, but I think more accurately it's going up 2.1%. The new premium is going to be $33,716.88. All of the coverages have stayed pretty much the same, except for the property on the building. They renewed that with about a $40,000 increase between the library, the town hall, and the garage. Any questions on the insurance on okay. Moving on, the next, we'll hear from the town board members. Deb?
Nope, I'm going
Okay. Gretchen?
From the Office of the Aging, last month I mentioned 2 people receiving the Senior Citizens of recognition for the state, and I've got their resumes here. If anybody wants to see them, it's Arlene Green and Tony Cantanucci. So I was kind of happy to see those. when people voted for them, they did not know who they read these, but they didn't know who the people were. So it was pretty neat. 2 Fort Ann people.
I actually posted that up on the bulletin board here too, Gretchen.
Oh,
So
good,
anybody coming in can see that, yeah.
good.
Can I see that correction real quick, please? Thank you.
They've got a nutrition program set for tomorrow with a trip to the Georgie Museum in Shushan, but they postponed it until June 11th because of the weather. But they still will have a program tomorrow at the Fort Ann Library, starting at 11, and they'll have lunch afterward. Costs $3 for anyone over 60 years old. In April, I got a phone call from the this fellow with the Canal Corps, Champlain Canal system, asking if we could help out with a group of canoeists coming down through the Champlain Canal. Well, what he was talking about is a Croker expedition, which is it's a school in New Hampshire. And what they do, they offer different activities. They could be 6 months long, they could be a school year long. It's a school in New Hampshire. Well, this particular expedition was going from January until June. And they started in New Hampshire, they went up into Canada, spent some days there, they did some winter camping, they went to Quebec City, learned a little bit about that area. Then they headed down, well, they spent quite a bit of time because in April they ended up at the head of Lake Champlain, which was still frozen, hopped in some canoes and canoed down to Whitehall and got there on April 25th. Well, these kids, they're all seniors in high school, and they earn credit so that they can graduate from high school. And they did things like bathe in the Champlain Canal in April. They cut holes in the ice. I mean, these kids were phenomenal. They were just the nicest bunch of people. But just to make a long story short, they came to Fort Ann. They asked if they could camp out at our canal park. Well, it had been raining steadily, not that it has at all, but it had been raining steadily for 2 days, and so we told them that, well, with Sam's help, we got the Fort Ann Rescue Squad to offer their facility for them to stay in that night. Sam got Grumbellies to give them a spaghetti dinner that night. With George Smith's help, we provided transportation. So that day, they ended up with a good spaghetti dinner. And I can't say enough about Grumbellies because they gave them all a bunch of spaghetti, a plate of spaghetti and a roll and meatballs. And then before long, they came and they were going to get their plates, but instead of getting their plates and picking them up, they brought out another big, huge bowl of spaghetti, bowl of meatballs, and rolls, and said to the kids, "Help yourself." So they had 2 or 3 helpings, and which was, I thought, just really nice of them. There were 12 kids and 2 adults in this group, and that's as big as they can be. I want to thank Sam for all his help, and George, thank you for your help as far as getting them to and from. And the group had a wonderful time. And I did send a note to the rescue squad and to Grumbellies thanking them. Just can't say enough, and they couldn't say enough about Fort Ann, so.
They'll be getting that shit.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, so, as far as the beach goes, Fort Ann Beach, we're gonna try to open for the season the last weekend in June. We have at least 4 lifeguards interested in a job. So that's great, because one can't do it. And I think, if you've been around the area, you've seen how the bike trail is coming along. There's been a lot of progress from Smith Basin right up to here. So all I can say is we're gonna have a bike trail, and we've gotta get ready as a town to welcome bikers. So that's our next job, to have something here for them, food, bike racks, anything to make them welcome. I guess that's it.
Thank you, Sam.
Yeah, I would just like to thank Gretchen for the time she spent on the project with the expedition that came through. It actually went very fast because they got here a day earlier than we thought they were going to be here. So she was running back and forth up to Whitehall to coordinate those efforts and stuff, and we appreciate that. Thank you, Gretchen, because you had that up. I got to stay out of the rain and just make the phone calls, and she was on the rain. So. But thank you. The other thing I want to talk about today is the Department of the Interior grant for the new property for the Battle Hill. They're currently in the process of negotiating with the attorney for Mr. Caprud for the grant to finish up the application. One of the requirements that Mr. Caprud was looking for, which is not an issue with it, he wanted an easement so he could get to his land out the back of it, so it wouldn't be landlocked, and that will not be a problem. Not sure when it's going to be completed. As of 2 weeks ago, they were working on it. They were waiting for the papers to come back from Mr. Caprud's attorney so they could move the process forward. And hopefully that will have that portion of it applied for by the July timeframe when it's due. We're going to be meeting on Thursday with the LA group regarding the finalization of the grant we have for Battle Hill. They'll have some ideas for signage. They'll have some ideas for the grants to pay for those things, and what the next step in the overall process should be as we move forward. As many of the grants aren't due until the July or August timeframe, which are several different ones that the town would be able to apply for to keep that project rolling along. And that concludes my report, Mr. Chairman.
Denny?
Good, thank you.
Next is the town clerk.
I gave a check to the bookkeeper for $868.89 for the month of April 1st to April 30th.
Hey, next, Paul, the highway superintendent.
We're busy changing some culverts. We did one today actually on Madison Road. We did a 4-foot culvert over on the Whitney Road and a 3-foot culvert on Brighton Road. You'll see from the bills there, they paid a higher excavator because they're too deep for our reach. Been grading roads, sweeping, trying to get things done with all the rain, but other than that, quiet.
I just want to take a minute to thank you, Paul, and the guys in your shop for the job you do on the roads. Paul and I spent some time on the road in his truck last week. Yeah, early last week, and I was just amazed with all of the rain that we've had and the thawing that we've had. I was pleasantly surprised that they're in pretty good shape. I mean, they're not,
Especially for the rain we've had.
yeah, they're not perfect, but a lot better shape than I anticipated. So please make sure you say thank you to the guys for a job well done.
Thank you.
Next, we'll hear from the enforcement officer.
You got my report. You might want to change the date on the top. I guess I got the wrong. It says May, and it actually should be April. So, but has anybody got any questions about the report?
Yeah, just could you elaborate on the building permits, Mark, are those businesses or just remodeling, or is it new construction? Or?
Half of those are the LRCC 2s for the completion of a project. Most all of those permits are for housing, either porches or decks or somebody building a house. So.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Mark? Move on. The historian is not here. Dale, do you have anything this evening? Do you have anything this evening?
Oh, first of all, I gotta apologize. I had a lot to do with the Houlihan history book. And Mike, Anton pointed out a mistake, and when I proofread it, I missed it. Was the fact that the church, there used to be a church over on Dewey's Bridge, it was a church, they moved that church to Troopville, and they built a schoolhouse. How it's worded that you think that building was the church, and it wasn't. The church that was there, it's a Troopville church, and so that's the thing. The other thing I want to bring up is that I know a person that contacted quite a few people trying to get Virginia Pier recognized. And my own opinion should be is once we get the Battle Hill done and everything, I come and put come to one agreement on how to honor her. And that's how come I'm not trying to put anybody off anything, but I think that's a proper way to do it.
And that is the game plan.
Okay.
That may not make everybody happy today.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay. Yeah.
But that's the game plan.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
And that's been made known for
Yeah.
some time. Okay? All right. Today, for the dog officer, Todd Humiston, his last day as the dog control officer is this Friday. And on Saturday, we will have a new dog control officer, and I'll be introducing the young lady to you in a few minutes when we start with the resolutions, okay? So let's move on to the resolutions, and we'll begin with resolution number 68.
Resolution accepting letter of resignation from part-time dog control officer Todd Humiston for town of Fort Ann.
Okay, we need a motion for the resolution.
So,
Second.
Any discussion? Aye votes aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Any abstentions? Okay, 69.
Resolution appointing Haley Kirby as part-time dog control officer for dog control purposes within the town of Fort Ann. Resolved that this employment will commence on May 18th, 2019 at a rate of $7,638 to be prorated for 2019 and receive mileage allowance.
Do we need a motion for that?
I'll make it.
I'll second it.
Any discussion needed? Aye votes aye.
Aye.
Any nays, any abstentions? Haley, where are you? Just stand so I could say hello to you. And I
Thank
told
you.
Haley that she could only speak for 15 minutes this evening. Okay? Can't go much longer than that, okay? So we look forward to you joining the team. Haley was handpicked by Todd, and Todd spoke very highly of her. Haley, tell us a little bit about where you work today and why you were interested in this job, if you would please.
I work full-time at Countryside Veterinary Medical Group in Queensbury, right across from the airport. I'll be there 3 years next month. I also work part-time at the SPCA of upstate New York, which is on Queensbury Avenue as well. I grew up around animals, so I'm very familiar with all types of pets and how they can act. I've known Todd for almost 3 years now as well, and I've been pretty close with him. He's helped out a lot during the countryside, at work with the stray dogs, and I've learned a lot about the dog control aspect of it, and same with working at the SPCA.
Maybe you just touch quickly on the paperwork that's associated with the job. You're familiar with it?
Yes.
Right. So it's not going to be completely strange to you as you start your as the dog control officer. You have Todd has done an excellent job, and I'm sure you'll do as well as he has done. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Quick question,
Good.
you have all the equipment you're gonna need, like, for strays and all that stuff?
We,
Just,
I do for like vehicle wise, we just need to order the starter kits,
okay,
like the gear and stuff.
alright,
And you're going to be going to the training session
The conference on Wednesday and Thursday.
Wednesday or Thursday of this week, down at Field One, right?
Yes.
Okay, very good.
Thank you.
Okay, resolution number 70.
Resolution to hire Pilot Knob Beach lifeguards. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board of the town of Portland authorizes and directs the hiring of up to 5 lifeguards, seasonal part-time at a salary of $13 per hour with a 25-cent per hour per year longevity step for the summer of 2019.
Any motion for this?
I'll move it.
And I'll second it.
I votes aye.
Aye.
Any nays, any abstentions? Number 71.
Resolution approving the hiring of 2 laborers to mow cemeteries for the summer of 2019. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board of the town of Fort Anne, upon due deliberation, finds the hiring of 2 laborers to mow cemeteries for the summer of 2019 necessary and within the approved 2019 budget.
Need a motion for this?
I'll make it.
Need a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
That's for all, how do I wanna word this? The 2 laborers, will they be doing the West Point Cemetery too, or just,
No.
we've got somebody else after that?
West Fort Anne Cemetery will be continued to be done by the alternative sentencing.
Gotcha, okay.
We only have 1 laborer right now, and it's one of the gentlemen who works for Paul at the highway department.
Who is it, Paul?
Yeah.
Fred's that doing it?
Not this year.
No?
So we're gonna need to find somebody else, and Paul and I have to put our thinking caps on, trying to figure
It's
out.
gonna be hard finding somebody that only wants to work 10 hours a week, so it's hard.
That's the tough part, right?
Yeah.
So, let's see what we can do about a second person. Alrighty, I votes, we already did that, so we're all set, right?
Yes.
Okay, 72.
Resolution to modify the 2019 budget by transferring funds between appropriations to purchase a desk/workstation for the clerk to the supervisor. $500 from the supervisor contractual line to supervisor equipment, $500.
We need a motion for that?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any further discussion needed? I votes aye.
Aye.
Any nays, any abstentions? 73.
Resolution to approve the purchase of desk/workstation for bookkeeper. Now therefore be it resolved, the town board of the town of Fort Anne authorizes the secretary to the supervisor/bookkeeper to purchase a desk workstation for $929.
Any motion for that?
I'll move it.
Second.
Any further discussion needed? I votes aye.
Aye.
Any nays, any abstentions? Next is number 74.
Resolution to modify the 2019 budget by transferring funds between appropriations due to the need to pay the 2019-2020 mowing contract with Washington County, $750 from cemeteries equipment to cemeteries contractual, $750.
We need a motion for that?
I'll move it.
Second.
Any discussion needed? I votes aye.
Aye.
Any nays, any abstentions? Number 75, Calvin.
Resolution to approve the 2019 and 2020 mowing agreement for the West Fort Anne Cemetery with Washington County Youth Bureau / alternative sentencing. Now therefore be it resolved, the town board of the town of Fort Anne hereby approves the agreement with Washington County Youth Bureau / alternative sentencing for mowing services in the sum of $1,400 for years 2019 and 2020 of the West Fort Anne Cemetery.
We need a motion for this?
I'll make that motion.
Need a second?
Second.
It should be understood that the request is for us to pay for 2019 and the 2020, and they will not bill us again. We agreed to $1,000 for each year, so 1,000 and 1,000 is 2,000, but we're only paying 1,400 because we're advancing the money up front for him. So we're saving $600, okay? Okay. I votes.
Aye.
Aye.
Any nays, any abstentions, I guess we're all set. Next is 76.
Resolution authorizing the annual agreement between the Board of Education of the Fort Anne Central School District and the town of Fort Anne. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board of the town of Fort Anne hereby approved entering into an intermunicipal agreement with the Fort Anne Central School District for transportation services.
Need a motion for this?
I'll move it.
Second.
Any discussion? This is the annual, program that we have at the school every year. I votes aye.
Aye.
Any nays, any abstentions? Would you hand that to Helen, so everyone, you can sign that and notarize it, Helen? Thank you. Number 77.
Resolution approving the Empire State Trail work agreement between the Office of Parks, Recreation, and Historic Preservation, New York State DOT, and Town of Fort Anne. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board of the town of Fort Anne hereby approves the agreement with New York State Office of Parks, Recreation, and Historic Preservation, and New York State Department of Transportation for the upkeep and maintenance of the Empire State Trail located within the boundaries of the town of Fort Anne.
So we need a motion for this?
I'll move it.
We need a second.
Second.
Any discussion?
I have some issues with it personally. I am not real set on the location they have chosen. As I live on Clay Hill Road, I know the things that happen on Clay Hill Road. I don't think it's the right choice. I don't really believe they investigated it well enough to choose that. And I also have some reservation in agreeing to do the upkeep on the trail for the next 10 years, making the town liable. I'm kind of questioning, my thought, I go back to remembering the lights over on the soccer field. I don't think anybody really looked into that deep enough. The town has took a responsibility that nobody really wanted, and we've had to pay for it constantly. We're now gonna sign another contract to pay for a trailway that may well turn out to be a major failure because they chose a very bad path. So personally, I don't think it's a good choice. I would vote no.
Any other board member have any comments about it?
When it comes to, Gretchen, maybe you could answer this, signage especially for Clay Hill. Will they put signage up as far as, steep incline or whatever,
I doubt that they will. I think all they put up is the name of the trail.
name of the trail?
No, I think there's some safety.
Do they?
Yeah, I think
I
they
believe
said
so,
something
yeah.
about a
I
couple
believe-
signs.
Okay.
That's, if my memory serves me correct, I could be wrong, but I think that there was something there about that. As you know, the original, plan was to go down Route 4. Okay, and that got tabled quickly. And then it came to Clay Hill Road, and I was very vocal about the concern about the liability because of the steepness and the curves of Clay Hill Road. Then there was some discussion about going over some private property with the state to not pay money for perform work on private property. We can do one of two things this evening with this resolution. We can approve it as is, or if you like, we could have James Body, who's who's in charge of this program for the state, to come back and meet with us again. This isn't the first time we've heard about Clay Hill being the alternative that the state has decided on. I think Gretchen will recall that I voiced the concern about liability at the meeting, and was told that the state would take the liability for the road. And I said at that time that I didn't believe that would be the case. If there was an accident that spoke the town, the state would be sued. Okay, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
And if I think that they did a study, or if they even asked anyone over that works as an EMT in the ambulance, the route they have chosen there is definitely going to be issues with accidents.
It's better than Route 4. It's safer.
And there's
No,
discussion.
not at all. I agree with Debbie, not at all, it's safer. There's not even a shoulder on 80% of the road.
You're coming down,
On a 20-foot road, you're gonna have bicycles too wide, going up a hill, crisscrossing back and forth. I agree with Debbie
I
100%.
think maybe the smarter thing to do is not to, is to table this for this evening. Let me call him tomorrow and tell him to come in. I know there was discussion about bringing the trail down the side of the canal. But there was spots where you couldn't do it because of water.
Steepness.
I forget exactly what it was, but I think we could have one more meeting. It's unfortunate that we get this far down the road before we do. But it's better to have the discussion and, rather than to play Monday morning.
Who does the maintenance on the trail too after it's done?
Everybody, every town.
They want us to.
Town
agree to do-
highway or town,
The town before the, it doesn't say town.
is it the 5 board members, is it the highway department or?
This is the
It's
town
not- I
for
can tell
10
you one
years.
thing, Paul, it's not the board members, I can tell you that one for sure. Okay, so I'll get in touch with him tomorrow.
Well, it's interesting that we're just gonna sign agreements without discussion, I mean, and is it the whole trail or just Clay Hill or?
All 4 days.
It's 4 days.
So from the minute
It's 4 days.
it's Fort Ann.
It becomes 4 days bill.
I don't disagree with you, Paul, because they've already got Route 4 marked clearly. I mean, yes, they're gonna have to do some more, but it's clearly marked as a bike
Bike
way.
trail, right?
Yes, it clearly is. And, you know, I think we need more discussion.
Yeah. I'll get a hold of the guy tomorrow, we'll get him down here and hash it out.
Take it.
So just mark it down this table at this point in time. Number 78,
Resolution authorizing Supervisor Moore to sign the 2019 contract with Dairy Freshwater Institute for aquatic plant assessment of Hadlock Pond. Now therefore be it resolved, the town board of the town of Fort Ann hereby approves the agreement with the Dairy Freshwater Institute for aquatic plant assessment of Hadlock Pond for 2019.
okay, we need a motion for this,
I'll make that motion.
need a second,
I'll second.
any discussion? The Lake Catlock Association has last year started a project with APEC. And it was to have citizens go in and to go to certain points, I think there was like 170 different points in the lakes, something like that, and try to identify what kind of either invasive or non-invasive plants are in that area, and is there more than there used to be, or is there less, or is there any type of new plant that's there? And that supposedly is gonna get finished supposedly this summer. And hopefully that's the case. The last time we had the Durham Freshwater Institute do a survey of the lake for the quality of the water was in 2016. It's timely to have them do it this time, and it's really, I think, prudent that we do it at this time so that we can have, okay, Larry Eichler has a master's degree, and he's done this for 40 years. So he's got some knowledge about this, and we can see how does it match up with this, with the residents. Tim, is my recollection correct? There are 3 residents that are trained?
Yes, there is, I can't think of the third one. One of the problems, oh, Hannah.
It's me.
But
Here's Bill Penny.
I think last year we spoke about this at the Minnesota conference with the EPA who's administering this APIC program. And we had some software glitches, so we didn't get it completed in the timing that we had expected.
We got to 65 points
Okay.
out of 172.
172 is the right number.
So it's my thought that we're gonna continue with the program in an effort just to identify the locations of things that have to be addressed rather than randomly running around the whole lake and just wasting our time and money.
Right.
And I think that's the crux of our program. We try to economize and be as efficient as we can with the use of the monies available to us and the equipment that we have to use at the time.
And getting people on the lake involved.
And, so Yes, the program is going to go forward this year, we hope to finish up under the supervision of the APA in accordance.
Does the, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but the 2016 Freshwater Institute, and then we do it again, is it every 3 years, or is that what we want to do?
It was done probably 2 or 3 years before that. I don't know the exact date, to be honest with you. Then
Yeah, no,
it's done periodically. It gives you a pretty good idea about the health of the lake.
yeah, I think what I'm trying to get at is 2016, we're gonna use as a baseline and go forward from that point.
Right, and then we'll be able to take the 2019 Darren freshwater results and match them up with results that the residents on the lake have, to see that they kind of match each other.
Yeah, okay.
If I could,
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
tell you to maintain whatever your longevity is with it. So if you find yourself doing that test every 3 years in September, just make sure you do it every 3
Every
years
3
in
years in
September.
September.
So when
Okay.
you're comparing your results, it's a controlled variable.
Okay, that's what I thought. Thanks, Sharon.
Of course.
Okay, I votes aye.
Aye.
Any nays, any abstentions? Next is resolution number 79.
Resolution authorizing the purchase of a one-way snow plow. Now therefore be it resolved, the town board of the town of Fort Anne hereby authorizes the Fort Anne Highway Superintendent to purchase a one-way snow plow for $5,912.60 from Viking Knives out of Harrisville, New York.
So we need a motion for this.
I'll move it.
Second with a question.
Okay. Any
One-way
discussion?
snowplow is,
The ones like you're on the tank on the big trucks.
okay,
I'll
all right.
for tomorrow. Paul, this purchase is being made under the, Oneida County, piggybacking off of this.
Yes.
And the contract is number 1989, it's on the worksheet there, right?
Yep.
And the amount is $5,912.60.
Yep.
And the contract is good for
I believe he says it's valid until September.
September for the piggybacking.
Yep.
Okay. I votes aye.
Aye.
Any nays, any abstentions? Okay, next, number 80.
Resolution authorizing the highway superintendent to contract with Washington County for the mowing of highways. Now therefore be it resolved, the town board of the town of Fort Anne hereby approves the contract and authorizes Paul Winchell, highway superintendent, to execute said agreement, a copy of which shall be filed in the town clerk's office.
Okay, we need a motion for this.
I'll move it.
Second.
Second.
Any discussion? This is the annual contract each and every year that the highway department participates in. And the total is what, $3,953.57. Okay. I votes aye.
Aye.
Any nays, any abstentions? And last but not least, number 81.
Resolution authorizing hiring of seasonal employees to work for Lake Hadlock Park District. Whereas the Lake Hadlock Park District has requested town board authorization to hire the following positions. 1, chief mechanical harvester, temporary at $20 per hour. 1, chief mechanical harvester trainee, temporary at $18 per hour. 1, MEO, new hire temporary at $17.30 per hour. 4 temporary laborers at $13.10 per hour.
Okay, so we need a motion for this.
I'll make it.
I'll second.
Any discussion? I votes aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Any abstentions?
There's one more there I asked about for culvert.
Yes. In your budget, you have $5,000 in your budget for culverts.
For various projects in the year.
Which you purchase every single year. So the board Motion to let Paul spend the $5,000 to buy his culverts.
I'll move it.
I'll second it.
And any further discussion on this? Who made the motion?
Sam.
Sam, Debbie?
Yeah.
Debbie.
Debbie? Okay, I vote aye.
Aye.
Any nays, any abstentions? I believe it is now 6:44, and we need wait a second, before we do that, is there anybody in the public who would like to be heard this evening about anything? Dale?
I want to clarify what I was talking about, that church or that schoolhouse. And when it was first built, people from Fort Ann, Comstock, South Bay, Granville, and Hartford all went to that church. Oh, when it got so they were traveling so much, they decided to split it in three. They built the Comstock church, they moved the church from there to Truthville, and built the First Baptist Church of Hartford. So when people ask you which church came first, it's complicated because they all came from that one church. That was the first church in the Fort Ann area, it wasn't this whole area. But the location is where the church was. The building is the schoolhouse that after they moved the church.
Is that the one up on Lavender Farm?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, that's why I say it, the way it's written in the history book, it sounds like the building was a church and everything. No, it was moved. The Truthville Church, when I think the church, actually church was on that property. The Truthville Church is there.
Yeah, it's on the historical register. Is there anyone else in the audience who would like to be heard this evening? Since I see no hands, we will close the public comments. It's now 6:46. We need a motion to go into executive session.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Purpose of the executive session is to discuss ongoing litigation. And I don't know how long we'll be in executive session, but we will not be voting on anything when we come out of the executive session.